Welcome back to Criminally Human. Tonight in part 2 we will be exposing the lies, the lust and the force behind the badge. And also I'll be showing more officers that left without the public knowing why after violations that they don't care to even detail. Not even so much of a code. Just more secrets. Trigger warning. This segment contains disturbing details involving police misconduct, sexual exploitation, and abuse of power. While names and events are based on official records, the content may be triggering for some viewers. Please proceed with caution, and take care of your energy. They wore badges, swore oaths, claimed to serve and protect. But behind the walls of Idaho's law enforcement agencies, another reality festered, one of coercion, sexual misconduct, falsified reports, and unchecked brutality. These weren't isolated cases. They were patterns, officers resigning just before exposure, misconduct buried under voluntary relinquishments, and predators hiding behind their uniforms. Some were prosecuted. Most weren't. And many walked away with clean records, no badge stripped, no decertification, no public reckoning. This isn't just corruption, it's complicity. A system that punishes transparency and protects predators. From felony charges and falsified records to sexual conduct with minors, victims, and vulnerable people, Idaho's post records expose a crisis no one's talking about. The officers in this segment didn't just cross the line, they erased it. Because in Idaho, misconduct doesn't end a career. It just gets reassigned or quietly erased. And if you're waiting for accountability, you might be waiting forever. They found Bryan Kohberger in less than 2 months. DNA on a knife sheath, cell phone pings, a white Hyundai Elantra, all wrapped into a prosecution-ready narrative delivered with cinematic speed. But here's the question no one's asking. How did they solve this case so fast? In a state that spent years ignoring predators within its own police departments. How does a system that let child exploitation, falsified evidence, excessive force, and sexual misconduct go unpunished for decades suddenly snap into action with surgical precision? Unless, of course, it wasn't about justice. It was about distraction. And when you start seeing the same numbers, the same symbols, the same silence, it starts to look less like incompetence, and more like ritual. Like Freemasonry. Like a script written long before the murders, and a cover story designed to keep you from asking who really holds power in Idaho. Idaho is a state shrouded in secrecy, from secret society roots to fraternal orders embedded in politics and law enforcement. Freemasonry isn't some movie plot line. It's a real and documented influence, with members sworn to protect their own above all else. Look closer, and you'll see patterns. The Idaho4 murders happened on November 13th, a date tied to ritual numerology. Bryan Kohberger's arrest, publicized just hours before the new year, a symbolic cleansing. And while the nation fixated on a sheath and surveillance footage, no one asked about the police departments buried in misconduct. It's not just that the system failed, it's that the system was never designed to hold certain people accountable. And that's what ties it all together. Now I will reintroduce you to the codes from part 1 and also introduce you to new ones. 1A. Felony conviction. 2B. Violation of law enforcement code of ethics. 2C. Criminal conduct/conduct unbecoming. 2E. Excessive use of force. 2F. Falsified official statements or records. 2G. Sexual activity while on duty. 2H. Sexual misconduct with a victim, witness, or person in custody. 2I. Failure to respond truthfully during an investigation. 2L. Misuse of agency equipment or property. Moral character issues, or similar behavior. This episode is sex, lies, force and quiet exits. Let's begin here. February 20th, 2013. Name: Alan E. Cobb. Agency: Post Falls Police Department. Status: Decertified. Violations: 2C. Criminal conduct. 2F. Knowingly falsifying or omitting information on official documents. 2I. Failure to respond truthfully during an internal investigation. 2L. Misuse of agency equipment or property. February 20th, 2014. Name: Daniel R. Clements. Agency: Twin Falls Police Department. Status: Decertified. Violations: 2C. Criminal conduct. 2F. False or omitted info in official documentation. 2L. Misuse of property. 2G. Sexual activity while on duty. This is disturbing, especially considering the severity of his actions, which include inappropriate sexual conduct while in uniform. December 9th, 2014. Name: Sean J. Wright. Agency: Ada County Sheriff's Office. Status: Decertified. Violations: 1A. Felony conviction. 2G. Sexual activity while on duty. 2H. Sexual contact with a victim or witness. This case is one of the few where Idaho Post enforced a decert, but only after a felony. It begs the question: how many others avoided this level of accountability? November 9th, 2015. Name: Tracy M. Bolduc. Agency: Idaho Department of Correction. Status: Voluntary relinquishment. Violations: 2H. Sexual misconduct with victims, witnesses, or vulnerable individuals. 2B. Violation of agency policy or ethical misconduct. Rather than being decertified, she was allowed to quietly walk away. Yet another example of institutional protection over public transparency. November 24th, 2015. Name: Emily L. Simmons. Agency: Canyon County Sheriff's Office. Status: Decertified. Violations: 2B. Ethical violations. 2H. Sexual misconduct. Exited without formal punishment. Another case of vanishing accountability. October 16th, 2023. Name: Joseph A. Hoadley. Agency: Caldwell Police Department. Status: Decertified. Violations: 1A. Felony conviction. 2B. Ethics violations. 2E. Excessive or unjustified use of force. 2F. Falsified or altered documents. His combination of violence, dishonesty, and felony conduct paints a chilling portrait of corruption at the leadership level. October 25th, 2023. Name: Earl J. Griffin. Agency: Caldwell Police Department. Status: Decertified. Violations: 2F. Falsification. 2E. Excessive force. 2H. Sexual misconduct. These violations align with a clear pattern of violence, corruption, and sexual abuse that Idaho law enforcement seems unwilling to address in full view. Resignation date: unknown. Activity: 2017 to 2021. Name: Ryan Bendawald. Agency: Caldwell Police Department. Status: voluntary resignation, not decertified. Violations: 2F. Falsifying reports. 2H. Sexual misconduct. 2I. Failure to cooperate during investigation. Ryan was accused of coercing sex from vulnerable women, often using seized drugs as leverage. One woman recalled him saying, "You like it, don't you?" He resigned quietly just as the FBI closed in. No badge removed. No accountability. Just a predator in uniform who walked away untouched. January 24th, 2023. Name: Stephen A. Bartlett. Agency: Ada County Sheriff's Office. Status: voluntary relinquishment. February 7th, 2023. Name: Gorge A. Ramirez-Ponce. Agency: Cassia County Sheriff's Office. Status: voluntary relinquishment. February 8, 2023. Name, Brenna R. Durst. Agency, IDOC, Idaho Department of Correction. Status, voluntary relinquishment. February 10, 2023. Name, Charles F. Hoop. Agency, Twin Falls County Sheriff's Office. Status, voluntary relinquishment. February 28, 2023. Name, Derek J. Emmett. Agency, Idaho State Police. Status, Decertified. Code, 2A. Inappropriate relationship or sexual conduct while on duty. February 28, 2023. Name, James H. Couch II. Agency, Elmore County Sheriff's Office. Status, Decertified. Codes, 2F. Falsification of official records or reports. 2L. General ethics violations. March 21, 2023. Name, Scott T. Denning. Agency, Lincoln County Sheriff's Office. Status, voluntary relinquishment. April 4, 2023. Name, Perry S. Grant. Agency, Owyhee County Sheriff's Office. Status, voluntary relinquishment. May 9, 2023. Name, Paul M. Maund. Agency, Owyhee County Sheriff's Office. Status, voluntary relinquishment. May 11, 2023. Name, Ty R. Smith. Agency, Orofino Police Department. Status, Decertified. Codes, 1C. Criminal conviction. 2B. Excessive use of force. 2L. General ethics violations. May 19, 2023. Name, Shawnee R. Fierro. Agency, Mini-Cassia Adult Misdemeanor Probation. Status, voluntary relinquishment. May 23, 2023. Name, Brian G. Mon. Agency, Twin Falls Police Department. Status, voluntary relinquishment. June 8, 2023. Name, Erica Alvarez. Agency, Gooding County Sheriff's Office. Status, Decertified. Code, 1A. Sexual misconduct while on duty. June 16, 2023. Name, David E. Edwards. Agency, Jerome County Sheriff's Office. Status, Decertified. Codes, 2B. Excessive use of force. 2F. Falsification of records. 2L. General ethics violations. June 27, 2023. Name, Kylie M. Taylor. Agency, Management and Training Corporation. Status, voluntary relinquishment. July 12, 2023. Name, Ryan K. Hayes. Agency, Kootenai County Sheriff's Office. Status, voluntary relinquishment. July 18, 2023. Name, Joshua B. Purser. Agency, Franklin County Sheriff's Office. Status, voluntary relinquishment. Code, 2A. Inappropriate relationship or sexual conduct while on duty. July 20, 2023. Name, Devon R. Leonard. Agency, IDOC, Idaho Department of Correction. Status, Decertified. Codes, 2B. Excessive force. 2L. Ethics violation. July 26, 2023. Name, Adam T. Mann. Agency, Blackfoot Police Department. Status, Decertified. Codes, 1D. Domestic violence. 2B. Excessive force. 2L. Ethics violation. August 4, 2023. Name, Elijah C. Connell. Agency, Jerome County Sheriff's Office. Status, voluntary relinquishment. August 10, 2023. Name, Madison M. Parker. Agency, Boundary County Sheriff's Office. Status, decertified. Codes, 2B, excessive use of force. 2F, falsification of records. 2L, ethics violations. September 25, 2023. Name, Christopher W. Pell. Agency, IDOC, Idaho Department of Correction. Status, decertified. Codes, 2B, excessive force. 2C, truthfulness violation. 2E, use of force policy violation. 2G, inappropriate physical conduct with civilians. 2L, general ethics violations. October 16, 2023. Name, Joseph A. Hoadley. Agency, Caldwell Police Department. Status, decertified. Codes, 1A, sexual misconduct while on duty. 2B, excessive use of force. 2E, use of force policy violation. 2F, falsification of official records or reports. October 25, 2023. Name, Earl J. Griffin III. Agency, Boise Police Department. Status, voluntary relinquishment. November 13, 2023. Name, David R. Smith. Agency, Nez Perce County Justice Services. Status, decertified. Codes, 2B, excessive use of force. 2G, inappropriate physical conduct with civilians. November 29, 2023. Name, Russell W. Karsner. Agency, Lincoln County Sheriff's Office. Status, voluntary relinquishment. November 30, 2023. Name, Christina L. Lammers. Agency, Southern Idaho Regional Communications Center. Status, voluntary relinquishment. December 13, 2023. Name, Matthew J. Vrasper. Agency, Ada County Juvenile Court Services. Status, voluntary relinquishment. December 15, 2023. Name, Sabrina L. Becker. Agency, Gooding Police Department. Status, voluntary relinquishment. December 15, 2023. Name, Levi A. Smith. Agency, Cassia County Sheriff's Office. Status, voluntary relinquishment. January 2, 2024. Name, Jonathan R. Hoadley. Agency, Caldwell Police Department. Status, voluntary relinquishment. January 5, 2024. Name, Sheena J. Castro. Agency, IDOC, Idaho Department of Correction. Status, voluntary relinquishment. January 16, 2024. Name, Brandon L. Frank. Agency, Boise Police Department. Status, decertified. Codes, 2B, excessive use of force. 2D, misuse of authority. 2J, failure to cooperate in an investigation. 2L, ethics violations. January 16, 2024. Name, Michael J. Ziegenhain. Agency, Boise Police Department. Status, decertified. Codes, 2A, inappropriate relationship or sexual conduct while on duty. 2B, excessive use of force. 2D, misuse of authority. 2L, ethics violations. January 29, 2024. Name, Bradley M. Tinsley. Agency, Rigby Police Department. Status, voluntary relinquishment. January 31, 2024. Name: Christina M. West. Agency: Rigby Police Department. Status: Decertified. Codes: 2B. Excessive use of force. 2F. Falsification of records. January 31st, 2024. Name: Kira J. Gonzalez. Agency: IDOC, Idaho Department of Correction. Status: Voluntary relinquishment. February 2nd, 2024. Name: Christopher R. Boyd. Agency: Twin Falls County Sheriff's Office. Status: Voluntary relinquishment. February 7th, 2024. Name: Isaac E. Reynolds. Agency: Bonner County Justice Services. Status: Voluntary relinquishment. February 8th, 2024. Name: Dan G. Bristol. Agency: Hayburn Police Department. Status: Decertified. Codes: 2B. Excessive use of force. 2D. Misuse of authority. 2F. Falsification of records. 2L. Ethics violations. February 8th, 2024. Name: Robert G. Tincher. Agency: Shelley Police Department. Status: Voluntary relinquishment. February 16th, 2024. Name: Paul R. Afiki. Agency: Minikasha Juvenile Detention Center. Status: Voluntary relinquishment. October 23rd, 2024. Name: Pedro Rodriguez III. Agency: Management and Training Corporation. Status: Decertified. Codes: 2B. Excessive force. 2F. Falsified records. 2G. Inappropriate physical conduct. 2L. Ethics violations. November 5th, 2024. Name: Joshua L. Cutler. Agency: IDOC, Idaho Department of Correction. Status: Voluntary relinquishment. November 12th, 2024. Name: Ryan T. Jacobson. Agency: Kootenai County Sheriff's Office. Status: Decertified. Code: 2B. Excessive use of force. 2H. Inappropriate or unlawful sexual behavior while actively on the job. November 26th, 2024. Name: Caroline V. Sanft. Agency: IDOC, Idaho Department of Correction. Status: Voluntary relinquishment. November 27th, 2024. Name: Trudy E. Price. Agency: IDOC, Idaho Department of Correction. Status: Voluntary relinquishment. December 11th, 2024. Name: David M. Oganaga. Agency: Twin Falls County Sheriff's Office. Status: Decertified. Codes: 2B. Excessive use of force. 2L. Ethics violations. December 31st, 2024. Name: Nathan K. Drake. Agency: IDOC, Idaho Department of Correction. Status: Voluntary relinquishment. December 31st, 2024. Name: Brandon S. Jones. Agency: IDOC, Idaho Department of Correction. Status: Voluntary relinquishment. They lied. They beat. They violated. And many of them walked away without a single charge. Idaho Post records show officers who falsified documents, used excessive force, and even committed sexual misconduct while on duty. Yet some were allowed to quietly resign, while others faced no public accountability at all. The public rarely hears the full story, because the agencies often don't disclose it. Internal investigations disappear. Misconduct codes are buried under vague language. And behind each of those badge numbers is a victim, a cover-up, or a truth that never made it into the official report. But we found the records. And once you see the pattern, it's impossible to unsee it. There are still about 400 more officers on the list. Let's pause with the officers for a moment. You've seen the names, the patterns, the silence. This isn't even a fraction of the names on the list. But law enforcement wasn't the only institution shielding predators. Let's talk about the churches, the ones who hide their sins in scripture and call it sanctified. Stay tuned for part 3. This has been another episode of Criminally Human, where the truth has no filter.